Everybody, Mrs. Dyer here, and today we are going to be reading a book. We're going to practice how we make some predictions and we answer some questions using the text and the picture clues. Again, we talk about how we can be a reading detective where we're paying attention to all the clues that we can find to answer some questions and think about what might happen next. So the book that we are going to read today is called Milo's Hat Trick. When I look at the title, it's like, yeah, he has a hat and he wants to do a trick. When I look at the picture, it kind of looks like he's dressed as a magician. He has a stick that has a carrot and it's hanging over a hat. So these clues kind of make me think that he is going to try and catch a rabbit to do a magic trick with. Again, that's my prediction. I looked at the title and the pictures to think, what will happen? I predict he wants to catch a rabbit to do a magic trick. So again, Milo's Hat Trick by John Agee. Here we go. Starts off and says he was called Milo the Magnificent, but Milo wasn't magnificent at all. He botched his card trick, he tangled his rope trick, and his hat trick was just pathetic. Now, in that page, I heard the word botched. He botched his card trick. Let's kind of use some clues to figure out what does it mean if you botch something. So if we look at the stage, do you guys see down here? All the cards are on the floor. I don't think that's how it's supposed to be. He's holding a mouse, and if you guys look at the audience, they don't look very happy. So those are my picture clues. When I look at the text clues, I see things like wasn't magnificent at all, botched his card trick, tangled rope trick, hat trick was just pathetic. Those clues make me think, oh, if you botch something, I don't think it goes very well. Again, using my text and my picture clues to kind of figure that out. Mr. Popovich, the theater manager, was furious. Milo, he barked, I'll give you one more chance. Tomorrow night you better pull a rabbit out of your hat, or else. So the next morning Milo went out to catch a rabbit. So far that fits with my prediction that he's going to try and catch a rabbit to do a magic trick. So far too, this page kind of makes me think, ooh, Milo's not doing a very good job. And his boss, the manager, is kind of mad. Again, I'm adding those things to my background knowledge to help me understand what happens next. Instead, he caught a bear. What are you doing out here? Said the bear. I'm looking for a rabbit for my hat trick. Hat trick, said the bear. Maybe I can help. You? Said Milo. Watch this, said the bear. Okay, friends, now I have to stop and I have to adjust my prediction. I thought Milo was going to catch a rabbit, but it looks like he caught a bear. That's what I would say is unexpected. I didn't think it would happen that way. I'm going to use this information and say, okay, well, maybe Milo can do a trick with a bear. Very unexpected. The bear jumped into Milo's hat. Wow, said Milo. How did you do that? Easy, said the bear. You just pretend your bones are made of rubber. It's a secret I learned from a rabbit. You definitely can help me out, said Milo, but you'll have to hide in my hat until we're on stage. No problem, said the bear. Just whistle and I'll pop out. Now, as a teacher, I might stop and ask, how did the bear get in the hat? So if I look at the picture, how did the bear get in the hat? Well, it looks like he dove. That's what I get from the picture. I think I get more information from the text, though. If I go back and read, easy, said the bear. You just pretend your bones are made of rubber. Oh, so how did he get in the hat? He dove and he pretended his bones were made of rubber. My picture and my text clues help me answer that question. Now, down here, there's some more information we should remember. You have to hide in my hat until we're on stage. So where does the bear have to stay? In the hat. It's kind of a silly picture there. No problem, said the bear. Just whistle and I'll pop out. So remember that too. He's going to stay in the hat until Milo, what? Till he whistles. On the train back to the city, Milo was in a daze. It's true, he thought. I really do have a bear in my hat. But when he got to his dressing room, his hat was empty. Worse yet, it wasn't even his hat. Now again, let's look at our pictures. So here I see Milo and another man on the train. And if we look up here, I see two hats. One black hat and one blue hat. If we look at our picture, Milo's wearing black down here. This man's wearing blue. So I can infer or kind of figure out that Milo's hat's this one. The blue hat belonged to that guy. Looking at the picture, whose hat did Milo get? Not his. Milo raced back to the train station. There were lots of people with hats, but none of the hats was his. Meanwhile, in a restaurant across town, someone whistled for a waiter. Now, it says in a restaurant, so it looks like this guy's the one in the restaurant. And whose hat do we think it is? I think that's Milo's. It's black. It matches the one Milo had. And it's important to note, what did the man do? He whistled for a waiter. If we think back and we connect our events, remember, the bear said, just whistle and I'll pop out. What did the man do? He whistled. Ta-da! Right on cue, the bear popped out of the hat. But there was no applause. There was no Milo. Uh-oh, said the bear. He grabbed Milo's hat and ran. Now, if these people were at a restaurant and they were in a town shopping, did they predict that a bear would pop out of a hat? No, I don't think anybody predicted that would happen. It looks like they're pretty scared based on the way that they're running away. And the bear is probably a little confused. Help, cried a cab driver. A wild bear is on the loose. A bear? Where? Said the policeman. He was standing right by that mailbox, and poof, he disappeared. Now, the author didn't tell us what happened to the bear, but we can use our detective skills looking at the pictures to kind of help figure it out. So we know that the bear popped out at a restaurant, which was unexpected. We look here, he has Milo's hat, and he's standing next to the mailbox. The text tells us that poof, he disappeared. And if we peek right here, what do you guys see? It looks like some bear ears in the mailbox. And if we think back, if we connect to what we heard at the beginning of the story, the bear knows how to pretend that his bones are made of rubber. So it's a lot of information to infer that the bear jumped into the mailbox. Again, good readers are paying attention to the clues. They remember those clues as we go through to connect events and understand what happened. Oh gosh, said the bear, how in the world will I ever find that magician? Just then a school teacher was passing the mailbox. Hurry up, children, she said, or we'll be late for the magic show. Magic show, thought the bear. He slipped out of the mail slot and quickly joined the line. Now, if I look there, that's pretty silly to see a hat with two bare feet, but apparently these kids were not paying attention to their surroundings, were they? They didn't notice a hat with two bare feet. I wonder what Milo's doing right now. He's probably not very happy because he's missing his hat and his bear. Minutes before the matinee, Milo slouched into the theater. Now, when I hear words like slouched into the theater, and we already know that he's missing his hat, it makes me think, he's probably pretty sad. Yep, again, detectives pay attention to clues to figure things out. Milo's probably sad. It's no use, Mr. Popovich, he said. I didn't find a rabbit. Rabbit or no rabbit, you've got to go on, Mr. Popovich said. Just look, the house is packed. Milo looked. A very familiar hat was sitting in the front row. Is that the blue hat? No. What can we infer? We can kind of infer based on the picture that the bear followed the school children all the way to Milo's theater. Good job. Good readers use picture clues to figure out what happened. My hat! Would you please hand me my hat? The girl looks a little confused, but she's handing him the hat. Milo whistled, and out popped the bear. Boy, said the bear, am I glad to see you. For the rest of the afternoon, the bear jumped in and out of hats of all shapes and sizes. Milo's new act was a smash. Now, I don't think the audience probably predicted they would see a bear come out of a hat. I didn't predict it when I saw the first page of this book that that's what would happen. But we used the clues and we figured out that, yeah, this bear is able to dive in and out of hats. Pretty amazing. Mr. Popovich was ecstatic. For 3 solid weeks, Milo and the bear were the hottest ticket in town. Now, it says he was ecstatic. And if we think, we're like, okay, he is a magician that can do a really cool trick where a bear jumps in and out of hats. He's the manager, so if he's ecstatic, he's probably really happy, maybe even proud of the fact that he has a really good magic show. Again, we can use clues to figure out what some words mean. But one day, during intermission, the bear yawned, an enormous yawn. After popping in and out of 762 hats, he was pooped. So Milo took the bear home. Well, that's unexpected. Back in his cave, the bear settled down for a long nap. Gee, said Milo, what am I going to do without you? The bear yawned. Like I said before, you just... And then he was asleep. These days, Milo closes his show with a hat trick, and this one is really special. It's a secret he learned from a bear. Now, as a teacher, I might say, what was that secret he learned from a bear? If you aren't sure, we could flip back to the page. What was that secret he learned from a bear? Oh, I'm looking for I can do that. I learned how to pretend to turn my bones into rubber. So I think I can infer at the end of the book that Milo does a magic trick where he pretends his bones are rubber and he goes into the hat. Now, friends, that is definitely not what I predicted. But as a reader, I paid attention to everything that the author told me and all the illustrations, and that made me understand, like, oh, I predicted one thing, but I changed my mind as I read the book. Very good. Now, one thing I want you guys to maybe practice is telling somebody what happened in this book. So we have our characters of Milo and the bear. We know the setting took place in the woods, at a restaurant, and at the magic show. And we know that Milo needed to do a magic trick. He found a bear. The bear taught him how to go in and out of hats. So those are a few key things that you could use to retell the story to either mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or your babysitter, or you could even tell your dog or cat or brother or sister. So hopefully you guys enjoyed Milo's hat trick, and as you read books, remember to pay attention to all the words and all the pictures to make some predictions and come up with the best answers possible. Thanks, guys.